All right, guys. Good morning. Good midday. 11:21. Read the disclosure. Make sure you understand everything before we start going over things, and we're gonna get to it. All right. Hope everyone's feeling okay. Had a great morning. Yesterday definitely lots of volatility, and that's when it's like the playoffs for traders. When volatility hits, you're not exactly sure what's going to happen, but you know how to gauge things. You know what to look for, what to do. So yesterday, again, the futures were up at 8 o'clock in the morning. By the time the market opened, they were down 400 or 500 points, and no one knew. No one knew whether we would retest those lows or break them. It just felt like rates were extreme and market was iffy. And PS, we went down towards those Monday lows, below the Tuesday's lows, hung there for about a half an hour, and then what happened? We actually reclaimed Tuesday's lows, closing the highs of the day. A lot of us on the VTF got long. I tweeted to you guys around all access. We reclaimed 284 on the SPYs, reclaimed 181 on the Qs. I bought both of those. Wrote out a lot of the day, and then I switched to keeping the SPYs, and then I went midday with some of the stronger names that went green first. So today, what happened? Futures opened up. We said, could we get some gap fills from the prior day for extra cash flow? And then we'll see what's next. So if you go here to the chart of this is the SPYs. So it's a very, very good lesson here, guys. Whether you made money or not, you need to look at this. Okay, this was Monday's low. Here was yesterday. This was a higher low, 282.04 versus 281.72. Okay, then what happened? Reclaimed 284. You guys know when you reclaim a level, that means whoever reclaims that level is in control. And that's what the RedDog reversal is. It helps figure out who's in control at that pivot, and then you also have a way to put on a position versus a level, which here was 284. Here was the 200 date also got above, which was important, and then here was your low. So this 284 was a spot. Tweeted to Red All Access to buy. I got long in the VTF sword, and I did also in the public sphere try and give some hints or some thoughts of what's happening. So then today, this was your spot. Would we be able to get above and stay above 288.82? Okay, because in order to fill this gap up to 290.90, what do you have to do? You got to get above and stay above 288.82. Got above it, so some of you who were still long from overnight, it's usually a RedDog reversal. You keep a third just in case there's follow through. This was your spot to buy extra and then sell some into the gap fill. I am no longer long the SPYs, and if anything, I think into this area, which it's getting pretty damn close. I would think that it's a better fade. Okay, this gap is now gone, so let's erase it. Okay, bye bye gap. All right, so this is filled. It's above here. Now we're headed into so this must adjust. Let's see, did this make a new high on the day? 291.60. Okay. If you think that this was just a cute gap fill, you better be prepared that they could push the envelope a little bit more. Okay, if to squeeze you. Okay, or not. Who knows? Maybe we go even further than that. But at this point, this was the setup. This was my day and a half trade. Buy yesterday, add today, fill the gap, and then pick and choose where you want to sell. You could have done that with the Qs also. The Qs is very similar. They actually even had more power. So if you read my language in the morning, because that's very important, that goes with the chart, tech helped lead the markets off the lows as the Qs reclaimed 180.107 pivot. That's the 180.107 pivot. Now we can see if we can get above and stay above 184.51. In order to fill this gap here, what does it have to do? It's got to get above and stay above 184.51. Okay, and fill the gap here, which it did, and then some. Okay, so at this point, the Qs are the strongest group, so it's good. You need to know what's going on there. And now this gap is gone. Okay, it helped us. Thank you very much, gap. If that gap stayed open, okay, then it would have been a different story. Then it would have showed you that no one wanted technology on sale and that we'd be heading lower a lot quicker. And this actually made a higher low also as that got reclaimed. So anyway, this is a spot I would not be looking to buy. If anything, definitely take some off into it. And then, this zone is going to be very hard to get above. So maybe tomorrow, that'll be your spot if you're looking for a fade, or just don't do anything. Sometimes you don't have to do much. Apple, I was long overnight. I haven't been long Apple overnight in weeks. Why was I long Apple overnight? Because it was the first one to go green and had some strength. and made sense to me. It showed relative strength, and it wound up working out really well. Okay, here was your Red Dog reversal 194, closed above prior high, closed above that high, and 199.56 was your spot. It held it, first 30 minutes and then pushed, and now it filled this gap. Would I be buying Apple here? No, I'm actually out of it. This was my day and a half trade. I'm not very bullish on the market, but I'm bullish on tactics. And my tactic was to buy Apple as it showed relative strength because to me, I thought it could have some kind of bounce, especially if the market wanted to bounce. And now, would I be looking to short it? Not yet. It's not giving you any signal to short it yet. Right now, you're just anticipating. And at this point, it's already, reclaimed this moving average. It's hitting this one, and then, maybe it wants to retest the breaking of this ascending channel. So at this point, not for me. I'm not shorting it, but I also took my trade. I probably could have just trailed it and let it, see where it's going today, but I'm very happy. This week's been crazy. Last week was crazy. For me, I'm back at the highs of my quarter and month. And year actually. So not so bad considering the corrective phase we just had and all the different types of strategies we've been doing. So I'm leaving for Italy actually next Friday, in a week from tomorrow. So I feel as if didn't get caught in that down swoosh and was able to catch a Red Dog reversal yesterday into today. So I think I felt like I've gotten the meat and potatoes of a lot of these things. So now I have no FOMO because I'm not thinking these stocks are going to be making all-time highs anytime soon. And I like to catch the bookends of each trade and a little bit of the middle, and then I figure it out. And right now, at this point, it could go up a little bit more, but this was not say it was an easy trade, but this was the easy part of the trade. Facebook, also I had that overnight. Sold some pre-market, sold some also as it went red. I got a little, pushed out of it fast. But anyway, this too, made a higher low, took back this low, and then, it went red and then it went back above this and filled the gap. And if you're looking to short it, I just would be careful because the moving averages are up here. Here was your failure. Here, got below the moving averages. If you were out of the way, stabilization, buy versus area, calculated, and now it's pushing. And here is where the next resistance will be. So I almost want to, move this up here now because this would be the zone to, let's see, how do I move that up like this? Bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-da, bum. That is your next resistance zone. Okay. And at this point, it's showing you no signal that you need to be out of it, unless you take some trades. This gap is now done. This is your next area of that, could be some resistance. I am still in Twitter. Twitter's different. Twitter to me is not broken. Twitter to me, has held, this gap area. And, I know it's a little weaker today, but to me, this pattern is still pretty good. So I did trim some. I don't think you could buy strength in Twitter, but you could continue to buy it on weakness and, manage it if that's what you do. This is above the moving averages, not below it, and we'll see. I did not play Google. Google also filled the gap, with some power. This was what I wrote this morning. Is if it gets above 1181, you could see close to 1200. Where is it now? 1192. Filled this gap here. It's got room. I'm just a little tired of Google. I was looking at it up here, broke 1228. I'm still sitting in some options that are probably going to go worthless, but I stayed away from the stock. But at this point, it's above this area. This also made a higher low. It showed some power yesterday, so it was something to look at today. Amazon, I also said, guys, I think this could fill the gap up to 1808 and maybe even see 1830. So let's see what Amazon's doing. Amazon got above 1798, filled the gap to 1808, and has really nothing in its way until about 1830. So, some guys like to short something as soon as they fill a gap. No, you wait for a signal. You wait for a divergence. Right now, Amazon at this point is, if you're still in it, it still looks like there's some room. I would not add on strength. And if you're looking to short it, wait for a divergence. Wait for it to get to, 1830, the futures to continue to go, and it actually go, not go and show a relative weakness spot, and then maybe try adverse an area. But for now, it's been down a heck of a lot. It's been, remember 1924, that was your post-earnings low pivot. Well, it broke that, which was a sell signal, and that was about 100 points ago. And now it looks like it's retracing a little bit. So here would be, a spot to just be careful. Definitely not buy it, and then just see how it reacts around there. overall, this macro pattern is taking its time. It's going to need a long time before we start talking about whether or not it could take this out and this out. If, not say if ever, but I'm just saying for a long time. This was your pro gap, though, that changed the complexion after earnings, and this was your trigger to confirm the weakness of that pro gap. Netflix, I think got a little bit extra, bigger bounce than some would have thought because they signed the guys from what's it called, Game of Thrones, which I loved, but last season was fine. So here was your bottom tail, got back above 305 that it broke below, and still has some room back to the moving averages. I haven't traded Netflix in a while because it's been in the penalty box, and I would have probably shorted it through 305 yesterday, but it opened below it, so I just stayed away from it. Anyway, that's that there. Let's talk about new issues beyond. It's toying with this 160. It did a little bit of a RedDog reversal. Where is it now? Oh my goodness. I actually wanted to buy it when it took back 160, but I needed to come in here and talk to you guys, but that's my job. Chief Strategic Officer, can't be in everything. So anyway, I do still think this 160 is very committed money, so be careful pressing it. At this point, the longer it stays above this, if people were pressing below 160, they might start covering. Gotta say, I don't like to chest beat, but yesterday I tweeted to Red Laurel Access, I think around 2 o'clock, saying if you guys want to buy LK and put it in your IRA or in your swing account, lots of filings on it. It looks pretty good to me, and all of a sudden, pow, pretty nice. Nice RedDog reversal, follow through. Now it's going to need time. We also have to, have earnings soon, 8/14, so it's still 6 days. That's why I was fine taking it. But again, I trimmed some into strength, and I'm going to manage it and continue to watch it, do its thing. Pins, some guys like RedDog, get in pins. I kind of missed it, but you could buy it versus it held the majority of this gap. I just don't know, if any names are going to have all-time high moves and FOMO, because, I don't think everyone's kind of set to that all of a sudden the market's back. I think this is, an oversold type bounce that, served us well by entering yesterday, holding some today, and now we got to figure out where resistance happens. The oscillator was minus 70 on Monday. We don't short stocks when things are minus 70. We look for setups, and what was the setup? A RedDog reversal. Now, I think we're minus 5, or almost neutral. So that means we're not oversold anymore. So, definitely be a little looser, and if they go up a little bit more and want to reject price, then maybe you reshort. But anyway, this is looking pretty good. Uber, big move today heading into earnings. If you remember, we bought I bought options around here. I think I added to some here. So all of a sudden they were like 30 cents, and then today I was able to sell some at 90 cents, and I'm going to hold some just in case. I do not think all of a sudden we're going to get a move back up here and have the $45 calls, but I'm not putting any more money into it. If something happens, great. If not, I'm happy that I just got out of some of my options today because Lyft had such a big move, but it was kind of sold down and still nothing special. Couldn't get above and stay above 66. I will say Roku was very impressive. It was good to see that a stock could actually get above momentum pivots, hold above them, and extend today. So congratulations if you were in Roku. I was not. Got above 105.20, got above 113.44, and now look. So all we know now is the gap, and if it holds that gap, congratulations to longs. I didn't go with it. I had too much else kind of going on. But and if you are long, and make sure you now use 117.56 as your stop, which is today's low. In order for it to be special, it's got to stay above and hold above. Oh, what the hell is that? 117.56. So that is that. Let's see. I'm gonna save this. Just save the changes. I gotta say, some people are like RedDog. I've never seen you trade the TLTs before. I haven't traded the TLTs in a bunch of years, but yesterday everyone's like, "Did you see the parabolic move in TLTs?" And I knew rates were crushed, and I saw people in pain. I'm like, you know what? Let me buy some puts. We're close. Might be a day away, might be an hour away, might be a week away. So I bought puts 1 and 2 weeks out, and then I shorted versus a high instead of doing the cost average game, and wound up working out very well. So here was your outside day in the TLT. We were shorting at like 142.40. Covered some into the close, covered the rest of it today, and I also sold some puts that were all up almost 90%, and then I made a bit of a put spread too. But I have a little left straight, meaning, if they go lower, I make money on them. So, I do think that at least to test this area here. GLD, pretty impressive. Didn't get in that gap, went below 140.88 and held it. I no longer have any straight gold calls or all spreads. We were buying the calls in here. This was a phenomenal situation right in there. And then on this day, I bought the short-term ones, which I sold into this, and I'm still in the October ones that I created a call spread. Let it go sideways for a little bit and prove it's going to hold here. Hey, maybe we put on different strategies and tactics then. But for now, it was a little bit too overboard, and we're cute enough to be able to figure out how to maneuver these ranges with a plan. So with that said, let's go back one more time. Here's your spies. On the highs of the day. It's either you do two things, either short versus a level and cover if it gets above it, or you're doing a cost average game. A cost average game is definitely, something that could hurt you if you start too early. Starting here, do I think it's too early? Probably not, because I would think that it gets some major resistance into this spot. If you started yesterday, that was the wrong thing to do, considering it just, engulfed this range and gave you follow through today. So this would be the spot to probably, figure out if you see divergence and clues versus just an opinion, because everyone has the opinion that we have to sell this rally. But that's an opinion until the market confirms it. But if you have a roadmap, at least you're not flying blind. Hopefully this midday video helped you, and I will do one on the close. Good luck the rest of the day.